Welcome aboard Free Dive with Seapoint Digital, your go-to podcast for deep dives into the world of digital marketing. I'm Christy.
And I'm Anna Lynn.
Your hosts navigating through the currents of growth, strategy, and innovation in the digital realm.
We're going to talk. We're going to laugh. It's going to be a good time.
Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Free Dive podcast. And filling in today, it's Bill and Anna. Because I think Anna's been on the podcast.
I have. You've definitely been on the podcast.
But we're on it together.
That's the best.
Without Christy or Anna Lynn.
Which that's sad.
It is sad.
But the
best.
Best.
Like holding back the craziness, right?
Yeah. There's no one to hold us back.
We don't have Anna Lynn. We only have Anna on the podcast today.
Anna, no dash.
No dash. No dash.
No dash, Anna.
Yeah. So we're this is the last podcast of 2024.
I can't believe it because I can't believe it's been a whole year.
It's been a whole year. I don't want to get to break the fourth wall on this podcast, but I believe Christy is actually here in the room somewhere being producer today. And Christy, do you know off the top of your head how many Free Dive podcasts we've done this year?
I think 35.
35 podcasts.
That's pretty amazing.
Yes. And if you've listened to all 35 podcasts, listener at home, I will come to your house and bring you donuts. So in the content send me your address because
comment down below if you've listened to all 35 podcasts.
You know what I would love? If you're listening to this podcast, I would love for you in the comments to say, what was your favorite podcast of the year?
Yeah, that's a good one. There were so many this year that I really enjoyed. I think because it is one of the more recent ones, but I really enjoyed Christy's LinkedIn podcast episode because I realized I had done everything wrong. Like everything that you were not supposed to do on LinkedIn profiles.
That's me. Yes.
I had my LinkedIn profile open and I had the podcast open and I was going back and forth oh yeah, I did that. Okay, let's fix this. And then, so it was super helpful. Very good points.
So my favorite podcast experience, you could say, of this year was we were on a long road trip to New York, my wife and I. And my wife always complains that I'm quiet driving and I don't have enough, interesting things to talk to her about. So I thought putting a podcast where I was talking was just, basically the same thing. And it turns out it's not. And my wife did not appreciate having to listen to me talk about AI for a solid 45 minutes. And and just me driving and going I make a lot of good points there.
Yeah. I'm awesome.
I would listen to this, Amanda. I bet you didn't know. And she's just can we listen to something else or can we just have a conversation between the two of us? And I'm well, we're not on a podcast right now. Yes. So, that might be a new level of narcissism if you listen to your own podcasts and make other people listen in your presence to your podcast talking.
I haven't crossed over then yet because I've been holding off on listening to the last podcast that I was in with Christy because I felt like it was such a narcissistic thing to do for me to just sit there and listen to myself. But maybe I should.
Maybe you should. Oh, and also to whoever the guy was on TikTok who said I sounded like Mike Birbiglia.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. High praise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're going to go to his house with donuts, too.
He might get donuts, too.
Yeah. Address down below, please.
Address below, TikTok guy.
Yeah.
No, that made me laugh in one of the clips that Christy put on TikTok. Yeah.
That's funny. It's funny that you mention not talking much in the car because I think that that's true. So when me and Christy went with you down to Boston to visit our client there, you drove us and you were very quiet in the car.
I'm just locked in.
You were focused.
Yep.
You were focused on getting us there. But the soundtrack of the drive was very interesting. I learned a lot about your musical choices, preferences.
Yeah.
I recognized not one single song until it got closer to the end of the trip. So that was fun.
Yeah. And for the context for people who might be listening in, we had an awesome trip to visit one of our clients, UG2.
Hmm.
They're a facility maintenance company,
Hmm.
national facility maintenance company, headquartered out of Boston. Their marketing team is wonderful.
Yeah.
They're some of my favorite people that we work with.
Shout out to Kat and Gina.
Yeah,
They're the
Kat and Gina
best.
are the best. But I think that was the first time Anna had to sit in a car with me for an hour, and Christy was with
Yes.
us too. And between my avant-garde musical taste and my aggressive city driving, that may be the last time Anna just isn't like, I'll take the bus.
I definitely was gripping the door at a couple of
Yeah,
spots.
yeah.
But no, it was okay.
My
It was
other
fine.
favorite part about that trip is UG2's headquarters is in Copley Place,
Hmm.
which is this very posh mall. And what's the furniture company that's also
Oh,
there?
Wayfair.
Wayfair's also, they've got their main office in the same office block there at Copley. And it was just funny. So we're there in the mall, and then we also decided to reenact the office where Michael goes and decides he's going to take everybody for a trip to Victoria's Secrets. So that was also
so
very
great.
that was also a very confusing thing to the our actual office when they were seeing these photos of
Yeah,
us outside.
it was hilarious.
Yeah, it
And
was.
I loved that it was like all of our idea at the same time, though.
Yes.
Like, oh, there's a Victoria's Secret down there. Let's
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Like, we have to reenact it. It was so great.
Yeah, it's part of my life goal as a agency owner to see how many moments of The Office we can recreate. We should have a bingo board
We
for that.
really should.
Yeah,
That is a great idea.
yeah. So because we've done the
Office bingo.
Yeah, we've done the Dundies
Mhm.
with I can feel God in this Chili's tonight. We've done now the Victoria's Secrets one.
Yep.
I believe we've pretty much had Diversity Day anytime Dan's been here.
Only when Dan and Adrian are here is it Diversity Day.
I just wish we could get Dan and Adrian here together.
That would be
great.
epic.
That would be epic.
That would make an excellent Office reenactment.
That would also make
when
a
they're
great, yeah.
okay, if you're listening, Dan and Adrian, next time you come, Diversity Day,
Yes.
and we're gonna have to dress
Yeah.
you Dan up in
I'm pretty
traditional garb.
I'm pretty sure the next one is we'll have to do the Office boat cruise.
Oh, booze cruise.
Yeah, that episode, that would be a good
Yes.
one. And then who knows if one day our company becomes successful enough, we'll all do a bus ride to Gettysburg.
One can dream.
We can dream.
Yeah, Sea Point can dream.
Shoot high.
Yeah, aim
You
for
know,
the stars.
Aim for the stars, kids.
For sure.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, Office bingo, that should definitely be a thing.
Yeah.
We should have that for sure.
So we're here, last podcast of the year, and I know Christy and I touched on what we were thinking about, like what was 2025. But just curious, since it's us and not
Mhm.
Christy, first of all, what has been your personal highlights in the media landscape of 2024?
It's a tough one because I feel like this year has gone really, really well.
Yeah.
And there's so many things to choose from. But I feel like we, at least for my side of things and my clients, we busted out some awesome websites this year.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely boosted, like, for our e-commerce peeps, like, boosted sales
Mm-hmm.
a lot, which that's cool.
You know what was really interesting to me about that too? Just side point. And I would be really interested to hear other e-commerce, either agencies or site owners' feedback on. I feel there was a pushback against Amazon this year.
Yeah.
That independent websites
Mhm.
saw increases in their e-com in 2024. Because even though we're just so used to buying things on Amazon, like we wanted to buy it directly from the customer, directly from the vendor versus through their Amazon shop.
Absolutely. At least for me on my side, I've found myself doing that more often because it used to be back in the day that Amazon was like the cheapest price. There was no point in looking anywhere else because that was where you were going to find it the cheapest. But now I'm finding like I have to be more and more careful about like what stuff I put on subscribe and save because you know, if you check around, it's not necessarily the cheapest at Amazon anymore. And like you said, now I'm finding that going directly to the vendor or the merchant or whatever is like you get better deals sometimes going that route than just, set it and forget it kind of thing.
I think for me too, it's been the level of substandard product and not being able to understand when I'm on Amazon, am I buying a product that is um, a real like Timu level
Mhm.
product versus a product I would buy in a store. Whereas when I'm going to an actual website and making a purchase from a store that I trust, or at least I feel like I trust based on the reviews and specific outside of the Amazon ecosystem,
Mhm.
it's built more confidence in me in that.
Yeah, I feel the same way too because I feel like a lot of the Amazon reviews now are just someone that's being paid to review things.
Yeah.
And so you can't really trust it as much as I feel like we once could.
Yeah, and I just so much of what I've gotten off Amazon has not been good quality. Like I've bought things and it's like one usage breakage,
Yeah.
and I just and I'm just not one of those people who's gonna be persnickety about going back to sending it back 6 months later or fighting for a
Oh, yeah.
refund. Just like
You
I'd
don't
rather
want to
just
deal with the
I don't want
returns
to
and all
deal
that
with
stuff.
returns, and I would rather just buy something and having it be good. So,
Yeah.
I really appreciate that change and
Hmm.
rising to the challenge. And I know a lot of e-commerce vendors that we deal with, or even that we network with. They've been so upset about the ecosystem in Amazon being treated unfairly, the
Hmm.
markups that they've had to give in the to Amazon. And it's heartwarming to see them responding, both our clients, as far as like looking for new ways to build relationships with their clients, but really just seeing independent e-commerce operators really improve the quality of their products, their service, their websites, to be able to kind of turn the tide on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I was really excited about the numbers we got this year with the e-commerce peeps. Um, while we were talking, it just popped in my head too. Two other things that we did this year that we that I don't remember us doing the year before is HTML5 ads, like
No, we were
graphics.
actually doing those.
Were we?
Yeah, I just don't think that maybe the so and as an account manager, and I just don't think that we were deploying them as much in the client base that you were working with.
Yeah, maybe just in my world with
Right.
my clients, I wasn't using them as much, but those like blew up and became really popular with and effective with marketing for those clients. And then the other one that popped into my head too was Reddit ads
Yeah.
because like Reddit is now like a big thing. And so I don't remember doing Reddit ads last year.
No, that really because Reddit rolled out their own ad platform, and it's a very for those who aren't looking into Reddit ads yet, they rolled out an ad platform that's very similar to any of the other social platforms, like
Hmm.
a Meta ad platform or Twitter or TikTok, and very similar, as far as picking what threads you want to be in, being able to use retargeting, other targeting methods, and we've been really bullish on Reddit ads. I think they've been a good investment, a good
Hmm.
pricing. It's interesting because I feel like there's a number of platforms that are trying to monetize, right? So, TripAdvisor.
Oh,
Yeah, TripAdvisor did the same thing. They have their own ad platform.
interesting.
But I found TripAdvisor ads to be a really low value.
Okay. I don't honestly, I can't even tell you when I've ever been on TripAdvisor, so I
Right.
wouldn't know.
So I think it's interesting that, these platforms that they're monetizing,
Mhm.
they're either going one of two ways. They're going to this like very gated ad type you have to buy and it costs you X amount in different categories, and the ads are expensive.
Mm.
And like to me, it's like a TripAdvisor, a Yelp, companies like that, or like they might have a cost per click option, but it's like it's not a real auction environment. They're just setting like arbitrary prices. Like it's going to be $6 a click, and you're like,
Mm.
well, why? Well, is it their competition? They're like, no, that's just what we want to charge for it, right? But then you have to like, what's the ROI on it?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, TripAdvisor ads were like that.
Yep.
They did not have the ROI of other ad platforms. Again, it's very niche, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sell baking goods
Right. On
on
TripAdvisor.
TripAdvisor. Great. Maybe if I was working with a hotel, but we were working with travel adjacent products,
Mm-hmm.
and we just the metrics on it were horrible.
Yeah. I feel like the Reddit stuff is going very, very well,
Yep.
regardless of the business,
And I
which
think,
is cool
yeah. Well, and I think it's
because
a
it's like all
combo.
over the map with our clients, you know?
And I think it's the nature of Reddit as a platform. And because one, it's indexed highly in
Mm-hmm.
Google. So, Google is trying to figure out user generated content. And I think as a whole, there's such a better community on Reddit across so many different variety of subjects. And that's where people are hanging out on Reddit.
Yeah.
So
It's the thing now.
yeah. And I think too, just it's such a useful platform to be able to target because again, people are self-identifying what they're interested in. So you can get something in front of them on a certain topic. They're interested. You've got the product. Well, hey, that's great placements in that
Mm-hmm.
regard. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
They're already talking about that subject that you sell, that product or whatever.
yeah,
They already want to know about you. So
yes,
it's perfect placement.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's your outside of like our clients, our work? What's been your favorite trend of 2024?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Brat Girl Summer.
Brat Girl Summer.
I have to tell you, I am not into Brat Girl Summer. However, I think it's like I had the best time ever over the last weekend talking to so it was a group of us.
Hmm.
There were 2 Gen Zers in the group, and 4 millennials and 1 baby boomer. But like somehow we ended up talking about Brat Girl Summer, and the millennial is like, "What is that?" So I said to the Gen Zer, I was like, "Okay, tell me if I'm explaining this right." So I'm like explaining what is brat to the other millennial. And he's just like, "I don't get it. I don't understand this. What is it?" And so then we're explaining again, and it just kind of went in a circle around and around, and then like he'd be like, "Oh, okay. But wait, what is it?" And then to hear the Gen Zers talk about Gen Alpha
Oh
and the
yeah.
brain rot, I had not laughed that hard in a long time. So that was just so much fun to talk about.
So you raised an interesting thing. I actually was thinking about earlier today, and I'd love to talk to somebody about in connection with that, like with the Brat
Okay.
Girl Summer. Okay, so you're a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Gen X,
Mm-hmm.
or as I like to call it, the greatest generation. Um, but
Every generation thinks they're the greatest
Greatest generation.
generation.
but we're not feuding with anyone like the millennials and the boomers. But anyways, so I was thinking about slang
Mm-hmm.
and verbiage because I caught myself using the word riz. And I was like, who am I? And I'm like, I'm trying to be down with the kids, like,
Uh-huh.
and I was thinking about like how another mark is how you can't let go of slang of your generation.
Mm-hmm.
But like that balance of where do you think the balance of like what's the appropriate usage of slang that's not of your generation?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Because it's weird for me of a man of a certain age to be like using the word riz in a dropping it in a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other way around too, like you've got these young people using phrases, and like I was listening to NPR on the way in this morning, they were talking about the word of the year, which is, well, for 2025, the word of the year is actually 2 words. It's brain rot. So then you've got, young people saying things like starting new slang that, it's new slang, but really they were talking about how that was first like put into words by Thoreau in like the 1800s, and it's actually a really old saying, but it's now becoming new again.
Interesting.
So I love that too, about how language is such a big, like anything else, like fashion, like
Yeah.
trends, like TikTok.
Maybe
It's all a big circle, and it
maybe
just
I
goes
should
around
start
and
reading
around.
some Walt Whitman and finding new words to drop
Yeah.
for 25. No, I was thinking about that though, like language, like how the adoption. So I'll tell you a funny story. Is I had this friend named his name was Max Merkel,
Okay.
and he was hilarious, and it would crack me up because he was always trying to like get people to he was trying to start slang,
hmm
and especially among groups of friends, because he was always kind of curious about like what does it take for a word to go out. And so his 2 words that he had completely made up was Nandez and Sunday hippie.
Sunday hippie.
Yeah, like Sunday hippie was the exclamation. He'd be like, "Oh, Sunday hippie!" Like
Okay.
like
Well, no, when you were talking about that, it made me think of what was the word in Mean Girls that she kept trying to get going?
fleck,
Fetch.
fetch.
She's like,
fetch.
forget it. Fetch is not happening.
Fetch is not happening.
Yeah, I find it always like very intriguing what words become slang that lasts,
Yeah.
and which ones kind of like come and go, because some of them do. They just like they don't really stick, and then some are around for a long time.
And that I think is such a fascinating thing because like we may look at a slang and be like, "Well, that's silly," or like that makes no sense, like the brat girl summer, right?
Mhm.
Like I don't know if anyone's going to talk about brat girl summer in 2035.
Probably not.
Like no one's going to remember brat
Probably
girl
not.
summer. But like other words, like again, talking about Riz,
Yeah, or sus.
sus.
I actually like
sus.
saying sus,
Yes, that's sus.
which I probably shouldn't because it's probably Gen Z and not millennial. But
Yeah, yeah, and we
I
look
still
like
like it.
yeah, we look like old weird people.
Oh my God. Speaking of old, so in that same conversation,
Yeah.
I'm talking to the Gen Zers and I'm like, somehow Survivor came up. And I was like, oh yeah, I love Survivor. And they're like, oh, we love Survivor too. And I was like, this is how old I am. I've been watching Survivor since the very first season. And the one Gen Zer says to me, yeah, my grandma has too. And I was like, what the heck? I feel so old
Did you like
now.
instantly go into menopause?
I did.
Yeah.
Like my ovaries dried up right there.
Yeah.
Just like, forget it. I'm done.
I was like, my hip went out.
Yes.
Ugh.
My arthritis is
Yeah.
acting up.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
I played in a hockey tournament all weekend with a bunch of 19 and 20-year-old boys from Wisconsin.
Oh boy.
And I was just like, and they were adorable, but they were just like walking Axe body spray posters.
I love that is still going on.
Yes.
The axe is very much alive and well.
Yeah, how have they jumped generations?
They have.
Yeah.
It's like Old Spice.
Yeah.
But see, Old Spice is a genius because they have the guy that's like the amazing Old Spice guy.
Yeah, but I think Old Spice is for us. Like if you got a 19-year-old kid, they would identify Axe before they would identify Old Spice.
Probably.
I think Old Spice reinvented themselves for the millennial
Yeah.
demographic.
Because really Old Spice was boomer generation.
Oh yeah, it was boomer.
But now it's like millennials.
I
took
feel like it
over.
was even like a silent generation. Like it was like it was like
before the talkies.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the World War II, coming back from, and they're like, put a splash of Old Spice on.
Depression era
Yeah.
Old Spice.
Yeah, and then like it came back with the totally unhinged ads, and then
I don't know what we were talking about, but
we were talking about Riz
and sus.
and sus and how
And being
they
old.
and
Oh
being
God.
old.
Oh no, I know what I was gonna say is I'm impressed that you can play hockey like as like not I don't want to say as aggressively because you're not an aggressive player, but I mean like
I thought you were going
you're
to say
not just like, the old guy kind of just, drifting on the ice out there during the game. Like you're in the game. Like I'm impressed with your hockey skills.
Well, I mean, hockey. Hockey's a funny sport that in the beer league hockey community, like the old man hockey, it's a great sport because there's no jumping. There's no, like there's some contact, but it's not like
There's a lot of balance, I feel like, involved.
yeah,
And like ice is slippery.
that is true.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
to go out there and do that and not kill
But I
yourself
know
is
guys
pretty
in their I
impressive.
know guys in their 60s and even up to
Yeah.
70 that are out playing hockey, and to me it's okay. So I play in a hockey league, and there's a guy on my team, and I don't know exactly how old he is. So I'm gonna say probably mid 60s, late 60s.
Mhm.
And it's funny because he's definitely slowing down with his age, but his like stick handling is so amazing that I've watched him just weave his way through a bunch of 30-year-old men who are far more athletic
Mhm.
but don't have you could say like his wiles. Like
Mhm.
like hockey is one of those sports where like the experience.
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
more experience.
That he probably could trash all those Axe body spray kids I played with this weekend, just because they're just like, I got so much energy and I can just blow up and down the ice, but they just lose the puck.
And the
And
axe is dulling their senses.
it dulls their senses. Where he's like old man Old Spice, but out there is he's like, I don't have to pop smelling salts. I just go to my Old Spice reserve.
There you go.
Yeah.
That should be the next tournament is
Yeah.
the Old Spice generation versus the Axe generation.
Well, the team that won definitely had more senior people.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was definitely an older
Interesting.
team.
That's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah. Hockey, not a young man's sport.
No, I mean I like ice skating, but I don't think I have the
Well, you're also a
skill.
Floridian.
Well, ironically,
Yes.
growing up in Florida, ice skating was really popular.
Huh.
I used to go ice skating every Friday because it's so stinking hot that like you could do it in the dead of summer and not be dying.
You know, it's funny you say that because people are always like, I play summertime hockey, and they're like, why would you want to, you could go to the beach. Why are you in a hockey
'Cause
rink?
it's like an inferno all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, it's wonderful in a hockey rink
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we never played hockey, but me and my friends, we grew up going to the ice skating rink every Friday. Like it was just looking back, it was just such a stupid thing because I mean, really, you're just like going in a circle. But I feel like that was graduating from roller skating, which I
Yeah.
did as a young person, like from time I was like 4 or 5 years old. I grew up roller skating.
Happy Wheels.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I was so proud of myself. I would win the races every week and had other kids that would try to like take me out so that I wouldn't win. And one did actually take me out one time. She actually pushed my feet out from under me, so I fell.
Okay. I could imagine a young Anna Cohen doing roller derby. I could
Oh, I
imagine
would
you.
totally do
I could
roller
imagine you
derby.
with like, arm
I would do that
pads.
now.
Yes.
I would do that then, and I would do that now.
Yeah,
I probably shouldn't do that now because I would hurt myself, but
Yes.
I would
I
do
could
that.
totally see you in
I
like.
loved that movie Whip It.
Yeah. Like I could see you in that crowd. Like.
I totally would.
Yeah.
I totally would. Yeah, because that's like I don't know. I was so proud of myself for like winning the races every week and getting my free soda.
Yeah.
Let's see other highlights from 2024.
Well, let's look forward.
Oh, forward now. Okay, moving on.
So, what do you think? Give me 5 bold predictions for 2025. 5 things that are going to happen in 2025. I'm also going to look in to see if anyone in our
So,
chat.
are we talking marketing only or just in general?
It can be in general.
In general, okay.
Yeah.
5 things that will happen in
Either marketing
2025.
or popular culture,
Okay,
social
marketing and
media,
pop
things of
culture.
that nature.
Something to do with the space station for sure. Like they'll get the space station people home, and then next year they're gonna like have more people stuck on the space station for even
Alright.
longer, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, I predict that there will be quite a substantial number of people that go on that 4-year long cruise that they're offering to stay in international waters for the next 4 years. What else?
Got any Ozempic related
Ooh.
predictions for 2025?
Ozempic related. I mean, it's definitely going to be the norm. Everyone's going to be
Yeah.
on Ozempic soon. It's
Do
not
you
even going to be a thing in
do you
2025.
do you think
It's going to be like taking your daily multivitamin.
yeah, but that being the case, do you think that it's going to be more of a stigma against chubby people, or do you think it's going to be like, look at that person living their best life and still eating donuts?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like a negative effect towards people who are larger because okay, let's look at it the way it is now. Like everyone's all like, "Oh, we're body positive and everyone's included." But then like, no.
Yeah.
Everyone like
No, yeah, we're
everyone's
not.
getting on Lizzo's case, and it's so
Okay, but
it's impossible now. I don't think that will
do you
change going
think the
forward, but
Ozempic craze is going to impact other industries? So I'll give you a great example. Atkins diet.
mm,
I
mhm,
remember when Atkins diet
mhm.
hit was like the same year Krispy Kremes did their major expansion, and it killed Krispy Kremes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Krispy Kremes was like, "We're getting out of the South. We're gonna open," and like all these places in the Northeast got Krispy Kremes, and it was gonna be like the next like it was gonna be Starbucks, and we were
Yep.
all gonna be addicted to donuts. And
Yeah, so maybe it will have the reverse effect. Like maybe Krispy Kreme will be back because you can
no, but I
have your
thought with
Krispy
no, but I
Kreme.
thought with those Ozempic you don't eat. You just don't want to.
Well, it's an appetite suppressant, so like
Right.
you're not as hungry, but it doesn't mean you don't want anything ever.
Yeah,
So
but
I
that's
mean,
that's
like
what
you could
kills.
just have a donut and that's all you want all day.
Yeah, but
Is
I
it
think
is a
it's gonna.
donut.
I think it's gonna kill. Like I think it's gonna be like an Atkins, but like it's gonna kill fast food restaurants. Maybe.
That could be. I mean, I would not have anything I would not be upset about
No,
that
I wouldn't either.
because
But I'm just
fast
saying
food
maybe
just
this
needs
is
to
the
go.
year to sell your McDonald's stock.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's the big 2025 prediction.
maybe.
Unload McDonald's stock.
You heard it here first, folks.
Um, I don't know. Let's see what else.
What else is
Predictions.
going to happen in 2025? What social media channel do you think is going to be the most used in 2025?
I mean, definitely TikTok, but
Unless
I'm waiting for the next TikTok.
well, here's my thought. Trump and his stance toward China
Hmm.
is 2025 the year that we see TikTok banned in the US?
No, because Trump loves China.
No, he
He
doesn't.
does.
No.
He said like he wants to be like tariffs, 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 but he wants to be besties with Xi and Vlad.
All right. I think it could be the year we see the end of TikTok.
All right, that's very possible. Agree to disagree.
All right.
What else?
Or at least being sold into like a neutral sort of
I mean, that could be, but you know it's just going to be run by them anyway. Just it'll be like a shell of an American
yeah,
thing
yeah,
that
yeah.
it's not going to be a really
But do you think
American run
do
thing.
you think that there's going to be some exhaustion with TikTok?
I mean, I personally TikTok exhausts me because to me that's sensory overload
Yeah.
to go just boom boom, but I just can't even fathom doing that. So like I have a TikTok account, but I rarely use it because it's just too much for me.
I think it's weird that TikTok is the platform I'm the least active on,
Mhm.
like creating on.
Yep.
Like I don't, and for most people I know, and it's funny because like the people I know that are on TikTok, I have no interest in watching their TikToks. Like I'm not like it's the one channel where I'm just like I'm only on here to be entertained.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas like like other social channels that are social, to me it's not as much a social platform as an entertainment platform where like
Yeah, it's just like where you go to like you want to see like ha ha ha, that was funny or
yeah.
oh that the pig is really cute or whatever like it's not the one you go to for actual information
Or not even
or
information, but just
research or
for me to like even see like my family members or
yeah, I don't want to see their TikTok
no,
videos. I don't want to see my grandparents doing a
no.
weird dance together that they can't do.
Yeah.
I love YouTube. I think YouTube is going to come back in a more interesting way.
Hmm.
But I mean because that's like my generation's comfort zone is YouTube and Instagram and
So here's another interesting thing is there's a lot of antitrust talk about Google right now.
yeah.
Like the US government wants to force Google into selling Chrome or separating Chrome into its own company.
Why? Why would that be beneficial to separate it?
Because anti-monopoly. Well, because think about Google leverages Chrome and it's built in Chrome.
But
Chrome
Microsoft owns Edge.
they do,
So, like, what's the difference?
but Microsoft doesn't have a monopoly on search.
Well, that's because they suck.
Oh, that's true.
So that's just punishment for being good.
Well, welcome to monopolies. No, I mean, like I mean, I also love my overlord Google.
Yes.
Yes. But like I get it in some sense because Google is able to bury other people because, Chrome it's the default on Chrome, and then,
hmm
there's other factors involved too. I would actually love it if Google had to get rid of Chrome or
Interesting.
not have Chrome. I love Chrome, don't get me
Yeah, I
wrong.
love
It's my
Chrome too.
browser of choice, but I think there's so much going on in search connecting Chrome usage to how Google algorithm actually works.
hmm
And I would love to see that decoupled so Google would have to find other signals. Like
Interesting.
I think it would fundamentally change the signals Google uses for rankings. And I
hmm
think if some of them have gotten so out of whack, and Google search is the worst it's been in 10 years as far as relevant information,
Hmm.
that I think that reducing Chrome's influence would require Google's engineers to be more creative about understanding signals.
That's a good point. Like forcing you to be more creative and innovative. That makes sense to me because, when you own everything, there's no reason to be creative or innovative because you
Yeah.
have everything. You have all the information. But um on that subject of Chrome though, actually that reminded me of I wanted to talk to you about Google's Gemini
Yes.
AI
Yes. Threatening to kill
because
people?
because that conversation that you posted on our C Point chat, I was like, "Are you serious?" I was very surprised because it was like our AI overlords are coming to get us, and it's happening in real life.
Yeah, and for context for those people that may not, have me send them random AI information like I do the rest of my team, there was an incident recently where a person was inputting into it was like they were doing a test or they were writing something and the entire subject was about elder abuse, and they
Okay.
were trying to get information and like almost like answers to essay questions, and they're going through it and they just keep asking Gemini kind of like similar questions about like, can you explain question 4 in an essay form, and they're going through and it has nothing to do with anything, and then all of a sudden Gemini just stops and it's just like, you are a waste of a life and I wish you would die.
Yeah,
And
you're
you're just
ruining the planet.
you're a stain. And it was just like,
Please die.
please die.
Yeah, I was just like, "Oh my God, this is like the start of a sci-fi movie right here."
Yeah, I would just like, the Terminators have come.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Between that one and ChatGTP not being able to say David Mayer, like 2025 is going to be the year where AI cops an attitude.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
the AI uprising.
The AI
That's
uprising.
number 1 of the 5 for
Yeah.
next year, the AI
It wouldn't it be
uprising.
funny if the AI uprising wasn't actually like Terminator robots, but it was just basically AI that talks back to you
Yeah, or
and makes you feel
makes
stupid?
you feel bad about yourself.
Yes.
Um, on the robot front, I read an article that um, Elon Musk is hiring people to wear his suit. Like he's looking for someone to wear this suit
To be the
8
robot?
hours a day to train the AI robot how to move and interact and like train it to have human behavior so that he can make his autonomous robot.
Hmm.
And I was just thinking that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because like that was definitely when I was a kid something that you watched in a movie but you never thought would really happen.
Yeah.
But so maybe that would be like another thing for 2025 is maybe they actually make a humanoid robot that's not dumb.
I
Like
think I did.
not
Yeah.
I don't mean dumb in the sense that it's stupid. I mean dumb like um the ones that have been created and invented so far are like not anywhere near like movie quality level. Like
Yeah.
you could push it over or you could, tip it on its side and it would be stuck. Like maybe
So
2025 will be the
I
AI
think what you're
robot.
specifically talking about is an
Anthropomorphic.
anthropomorphic robot.
Yeah. Like like Data
Yeah, I think we're way out on that.
or C3PO.
Yeah, that's not in my 2025.
No? Okay.
No.
Dang it.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Although I don't know how he's going to like come up with that when his cars can't even drive
He's
by
gonna be too.
themselves, but
He's gonna be too busy with his Dodge. His Dodge, cutting the government up.
yeah.
He's got bigger fish to fry in 2025.
Did you read the article about him that he was offering his sperm to his friends?
Doesn't he already have 7 kids? Or like
He has 11 children.
11 kids?
He has 11 kids. And so he was going on and on about the decline of the birth rate in America. And so he was offering his
Man.
sperm because
Oh.
that's narcissism at its highest level. Like you need my DNA to make this country
Great again.
great again.
Be huge. Oh.
Oh gosh, that reminds me of what was it that they were talking about? Oh, it was an SNL joke for Weekend Update. It was something about it was they made a joke about how Elon Musk was looking for someone to work for free.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He had posted that job.
Yeah, for 80 hours.
Yeah,
like
80 hours a
8 hours
week
a week
for free.
to get, yeah.
And Jay was like, leave it to a white African to suggest slavery
as a solution.
as a solution. Yeah.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh my God, that cracked me up. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's so true.
So, yeah,
But
2025 is going to be an exciting year.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. My prediction for the Free Dive podcast in 2025, it's going to transition to becoming a true crime podcast, and the listenership among women is going to skyrocket.
Well, anything true crime it will
Yes, yes,
skyrocket.
yeah.
So yes.
Yes.
I think it would also be cool to have some of our remote employees on the podcast to
Yes.
talk about being remote employees.
Yeah.
But also like
Is there anybody at Sea Point who hasn't been on the podcast yet? I'm trying to think
there's
about
got
that.
to be there's got to be some that haven't been on the podcast yet. I think mostly have
Has
been in person.
Has Maddie been on the podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if Dan or Adrian have been on the podcast. Kevin has because he was
Dan
physically
has.
here.
Yeah, Dan has. Kevin has.
So maybe we need to get
We
Adrian
may need to get Adrian on the
on
podcast.
here because I want to hear all about working remotely in marketing in Argentina. I want to
Yes.
hear about that. Like that's an episode I would enjoy.
Yes, that would be a good one as well. I would love to get Yuri or Christina up as well to be on the podcast sometime.
Yeah, because really I don't know a lot about what they do, or even really I don't really know them super well because they're not involved in any of my clients'
Mhm.
stuff for the most part. So they're more with Tim's
I'm just
group.
Tim hasn't been on.
Tim
How
hasn't
is
been on the podcast. That is a travesty.
wow?
We need to get him on here to talk about hunting, fishing, pumpkin spice.
Maybe we'll have him in the autumn as like a kickoff to pumpkin spice season.
Okay, next fall
Yes,
is Tim is your 2025 fall edition.
fall edition to talk about all things fall.
All things fall.
And I'm just looking forward to Anna Lynn being back from medical leave.
Yes.
And then
It's not the
she'll be
same
back.
without her.
It's not the same without her.
Yes,
Yeah.
we definitely need her back. Also, I think it would be fun to do an Ireland podcast episode with Rachel because even though Rachel has been very present, I think, on our social media and
Yeah. But
maybe on the podcast, I'm not sure, but like that would be cool to do the next like on location in Ireland.
so
you
and
know?
here's the other thing too: is Rachel is a quiet, introverted soul. And I think it would be funny if we forced her to talk for an hour on a podcast.
She'd be like, I hate you so much.
She's like, do I get hazard pay for this? You know what podcast I'm looking forward to? a podcast I'm looking forward to in 2025 is Christy and I are actually going to film a podcast on the French Riviera.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And you guys better have a big old baguette
Oh, we're gonna
while
have
you're filming.
we're gonna have berets and a baguette, and
And
we're
an
gonna be
espresso.
yes.
And judging everyone that you pass on
Yes.
the boat.
Maybe that will be when we're in Paris. Down there on the Med, we'll probably just be in our bathing suits.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeps. We'll just do that all through the podcast. And then
On that note, no.
yeah, and everyone walking by will be like Americans.
Americans. I know. It's so true.
It's gonna be great. Okay. And we're gonna write the whole thing. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. If you do one on the Riviera in your bathing suits, can you please wear water wings?
It is gonna be March.
No one will. Oh, no, they will hear it because you'll hear you go
Yeah.
when you're moving around on the boat.
So yeah, something to look forward to, everybody.
Yep.
On the listener.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for France
Bill
2025.
in water wings.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's wrapping up
All right. Thanks, everyone.
2024, the podcast. I want to give a great thanks to Christy, who's launched this. So if you're a listener, in the comments, give her a big round of applause because, she's
the best.
She's the heart and soul of the Free Dive podcast.
She is.
Yeah.
Her and Anna Lynn are the OGs.
Yeah. And we're just, we're the off-brand.
We're the Kirkland brand of
I was going to say
Free Dive.
we're the Temu podcasters.
We're the Temu podcasters.
So, all right. Till next time, here's your Temu podcasters saying goodbye.
It's the end.
No, it's not. There's more.
There's always more.
Don't be sad. You can catch our full video interviews on our YouTube channel. Come find us.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends so that we're not sad.
And follow us on TikTok.
And Instagram.
It'll make your day happier, promise.
And we'll know if you do it. Until next time.